Alright, welcome to my pick a card reading. Right now, I'm temporarily in a different location right now. I volunteer at this place. I'm the only one here right now, so I decided to just go into the conference room and record this. So anyways, this reading is for people that have been manifesting. So this reading is pretty much for people that have been manifesting, and it's pretty much telling you what's coming your way in terms of your manifestation goals. See the pile numbers 1, 2, and 3. And for crystals, we have the tumbled jasper, the greenstone, and the radiated quartz. Alright, so just take a second to decide. And I'll be starting number 1 in a couple seconds. Alright, pile number 1. This may not be the best setup. I have to do this one-handed, but let's just see what I can do with this. Right, so the spread I did for you guys and everyone else, we have the manifestations that are coming your way, what to release, what to let go of, act of self-care to do around this time. Sorry, I was distracted by a notification. Okay, so we have your affirmation cards and general advice regarding this reading. So for this card generally speaks about physical health, but I do think this pile in particular is more about mental health. It could be that you're going away from something or going towards something. Especially in this reading, I do think it's about going away from negativity and going towards something more positive. So I want to come back to this card, so I want to explain this card first. Whoops. Okay, so this card, Burning Bowl Ritual. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically you take any negative thoughts, fears, anxiety, anything of that sort, you write it down on a piece of paper and you burn it safely, of course. And what that does is that it's supposed to release it or purge it from you. And this card kind of hints towards what this card means. So we have 10 of Vessels, happiness, but it is reversed. So it's saying what to release, what to let go of is just negativity. And for some of you, or a lot of you, I do think it's about inner negativity or negativity within yourselves. But for some of you, it may be negativity from other people, or the other people are influencing you in a negative way. Just because we have these two cards here, I do think that these two cards may be speaking to two different people, but some of you may resonate with both of these. So this is saying, my body is vibrant and beautiful. So I think this is more for people that have a lot of negative self-talk. This is just reminding you to practice more positive self-talk. So even though it's important to get rid of that negativity, it's saying to bring in positivity when you release that whole thing. And for this one, it's loving for me to say no to things that don't resonate. So I do think this is also for people who have people in their lives that are negatively influencing them, or just a lot of negative people in their lives. This is just saying, pretty much don't really pay attention and don't give them any mind. Some of these people may be a little overbearing, maybe manipulative, or they take advantage of you. This is just saying to set those boundaries, or set stronger boundaries. And this card, it's safe for me to feel it all. So I think this is kind of going back to a few of these cards here. So going back to this one, I kind of see this where it's running both away from something and towards something, but it's not running away from something in that it's not running away from something because it's trying to avoid it, which is what this card may be warning you about. It's pretty much going away from something that doesn't serve it. So even though you're purging negativity, or yeah, if you're purging negativity, it's not saying to not feel any negative emotions, because we're all human and that's okay. It's just pretty much saying to direct your energy in a more, I guess, in a more useful way. It's not saying to, suppress your emotions completely, because suppressing emotions isn't going to release this. And this one, so this one has a couple messages, especially for those of you who are either dealing with inner negativity or negativity from external sources. So either one, this is saying to don't go down a spiral of negativity, follow your path. But for others of you, it may be saying to especially for those of you who are being influenced by other people, not influenced, that's the wrong word to say, but I'm not gonna re-record this. But for those of you who are dealing with negative people, this is just saying to not let them, influence you in a way. And I think that's for pile number 1. Yeah, so overall message is promising to be more positive, purge out the negativity. If there are people in your lives that are negative, or they're manipulative or overbearing, it's saying to kind of like go away from them too. Right, pile number 2, for those of you who drew the green stone, or the green crystal. So we have your manifestations, what to release, what to let go of, an act of self-care to do around this time, words of affirmation, and overall advice regarding this reading. All right, so we're going to start with this card here. So this card ultimately is about manifestations. It may not be about that in general, but for this reading in particular, I do think it is about manifestations, just because of the pentagram there, which reminds me of witchcraft, which ultimately reminds me of manifesting. And yeah, so I do feel like this figure for this reading is someone who's manifesting her goals, and she's just doing a spell there. Not that you guys had to do spells for this reading to resonate with you, but it is for those of you who have been manifesting very specific things. However, this card is saying to not expect those manifestations in very specific or particular ways, and to not expect your life to go in a very, A, B, C, D line. It could jump around sometimes. I also think that it's saying that you guys may go towards a different path, or maybe encouraging you to go towards a different path just because of this wheel there. I think this wheel is saying something is being too repetitive, and it's just pretty much encouraging you to kind of break away from that repetition. Yeah, basically, if something isn't working the first time, maybe try something else. But overall, like I said earlier, don't expect things in a very, very particular or specific way, because even though we can manifest, there's only so much control we can have over that. So jump around here. So we have these 2 cards. These 2, I feel like, are saying the same thing, just in, this is upside down. Okay, so I think these 2 cards are saying the same thing, just in very different ways. This one, we have, I give myself permission to trust my intuition. So yeah, even though things may not be what you expect, or may not be in a very particular plan, it is saying to trust that it is meant for you, or trust when something is meant for you. And for those of you who who are being encouraged to go down a different path or feel like that you should, this is saying to trust that intuition, trust when you can or should go down a different path, even if other people may not understand it, or even if you're doubting yourself. In this card, the overall message for this card is basically, if it wasn't meant for you, then it will pass you by. This one is also saying if it was meant for you, it will not pass you by. So this is pretty much, if it wasn't something you were drawn to, then kind of just toss it aside. Don't feel like you missed out on anything just because of this one here. So that's the overall message for that card. I'm going to go down to the gratitude list. So the overall reading for this is about manifestations and gratitude. So this card, of course, write a gratitude list. Not only do I think it's about writing about things that you're grateful for that you currently have, but for those of you who are manifesting, I do think it is saying to write down your manifestations as if you already have them and that you are thankful for them. So to be honest, I don't know that much about manifestations. I just do them, but I can link a couple channels below that I do think talk about manifestations in a more in-depth way than I do. But the overall thing is be grateful for what you have and manifest things as if you already have them. And of course, don't feel like you're going to miss out or you're going to miss this opportunity, because you are going to know when something is meant for you and when something is not meant for you. All right, and that was the pile number 2. All right, we have pile number 3 for those of you who chose the root-related quartz here. Okay, so we have your manifestations, what to release, what to let go of, act of self-care to do around this time, your affirmations, and overall advice regarding this reading. So I'm going to start with this one here. So I feel like for you guys, you may be going away from something or you may be thinking about leaving something. So I don't think it's more about manifesting something to you, but I think it's more about manifesting what's a better way to put it? I feel like it's saying that it's more about leaving something than bringing in something. For some of you, it may be about starting a new path or a new direction. So this one, we're going to ignore that there. So I think this one is saying that you guys may be taking on too much at a time, or you may be overworking yourselves. So this figure here, just because he's carrying 2 things, I think that's kind of what you're doing. You're kind of just juggling things around. And for some of you, it could be 2 different jobs or workplaces. But for others of you who are working one job, it could just mean that you're just taking on too much. Right, so we have this card here. So this card isn't specifically about sexual pleasure. It's more about relaxation and pampering yourselves. Just because of these 2 cards here, I'm going to jump around a bit. So we have self-care allows me to fully give to others without expectations, and I allow myself to rest whenever I need to. Rest is wildly productive. So yeah, going back to this card, this isn't exactly about sexual pleasure unless you feel the need to around this time, but it is more about relaxation, as I said before, pampering, It could be about meditation, taking a nap, going for a walk, overall self-care. This card, yeah, so it's saying take care of yourself before you take care of other people. And yeah, okay, I'm just pretty much repeating, being redundant there, but self-care, relaxation, take care of yourself first, then take care of other people. And going back to this card, don't take on too many things at once because it can overwhelm you. But I do think you kind of know that just because you feel like you should go in a different direction or do something different. And last card here, yeah, overall, being redundant again, don't take on too many things. Make sure to take care of yourself, relax in whatever way you can, or you feel like you should, because it's kind of telling you to not drain yourself, to not give so much of yourself away to other people, to the point that you just have no life left. Right, and that was pile number 3.